Okay, welcome back. And I am so sorry that I've been gone so long. You guys are so funny. Like every time that I'm gone for a while and haven't uploaded anything in a minute, I start to get asks and messages going, "Where are you?" And have you left TD? And please rest assured, I'm not going anywhere. It's just been a very busy summer so far, and I have so much going on and so much on my plate. But um, I'm actually going on vacation in a few days, just for about a week, and I wanted to make sure to get some videos out to you before then. So, the good news is that even though I haven't uploaded anything in like a month or more, um, I did finish the Still and Alone videos, and then I'm going to do two that are, my typical talk about what's going on and asks and Facebook, or excuse me, YouTube comments. So I'm going to drip them out every 3 days or so. So you should have videos coming out, three or four of them, over the next 2 weeks. And then hopefully by then I will be back from vacation and we'll be able to make some more for you. So thank you for all your messages. They always make me feel very loved. And let's get into YouTube comments. I actually do have quite a few asks, and then you can just watch out for the Still and Alone videos that I did. They are longer. One of them's about an hour, just under an hour, and one's just over an hour. I want to say the Still one is just over an hour, and the Alone one is like 53 minutes or something like that. So they're a little bit longer, and I hope that I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot of direction. It was an ask that said, could you do Still and Alone videos? And I realized once I got started that I wasn't sure exactly what you were looking for. So I just kind of did an analysis of them, and I did like a psychological reading of them, like I often do. And so hopefully you'll find that insightful and interesting. Meanwhile, we have Dead City coming at us pretty quickly, and I'm really excited for that. So anyway, let's jump into the YouTube comments here. Okay. Emily Kinney shared a photo of Daryl and Beth touching hands that Denise Huth, executive producer, posted. I haven't seen Emily share a post like that before, but maybe she has. I remember this coming up, and I don't have it right in front of me to show everyone, but no, I don't think she had shared it before that I'm aware of either. So there's been a flurry of activity lately that, again, I haven't been keeping up on it because, or rather, I haven't been doing very many videos about it, but yeah, it's definitely been suspicious. And so this is one of them. So yeah, I think that you're right that she hasn't shared anything like that before. And if she has, then I missed it too. But it's very encouraging to see her share that because, like, why now, right? And of course, we know already that she's going to be in Dead City coming up, so that's encouraging. Yay, glad to see you back. This is from a month ago. I can't wait till July 26th for the new season of Dead City. I hope we get some answers or hints about Beth. I've been wondering if the 17 days will be mentioned by Maggie in this upcoming season. A lot of good things coming up. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that, because it's an AU, like it's complicated, right? I mean, on the one hand, definitely they're going to be hinting at things with an AU, and definitely, an AU, by definition, you have to read it symbolically, right? Because it's not going to be literal that she and, Maggie and Beth are, back before the apocalypse and Negan's there. Obviously, that's not going to be literal. It is by definition going to be symbolic. So that makes it complicated, but that is also what Team Delusional, it's pretty much what we lettered in, right? It's what we majored in college. And so it should be really fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. So, yes, thank you for the comment. All right. I remember another theorist mentioning that the missing nose could symbolize that Beth has been right under their nose this whole time. Yeah, I like that. If that's what it means, I could see that Beth had possibly visited some of the people in towns that Team Family had known. If she gives out another name to people, even if TF ever heard a story about her, they would not know it's her. Yeah, for sure. And, I've considered that before too, that maybe she's using a fake name. For some reason, I always think about her using her mother's name, which was Annette. So yeah, that's definitely could be the case. And then she might have been there the whole time and they didn't know it for sure. And we've seen Walking Dead do things like that before, especially if we are right about, what happened back in season 4, and if either the CRM or another organization, whatever it is responsible for a lot of it, then it's going to be the same thing. Like it was around the whole time and Rick's group just couldn't see it, right? So, in a way, they have a precedent for that, even though it's not exactly that. So yeah, I definitely think that that could be the case, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. All right, I am still confused about the bullet wound. It's very high on the left side, close to her hairline in CODA, but much lower, closer to the eyebrow in 5x9. When you watch behind the scenes from CODA, there's no blood where the bullet hit. The blood is much lower, like in Ty's hallucinations. We could argue that his hallucinations are not accurate, but in his hallucinations, the governor does have a bullet wound on his head exactly where Lily shot him. But Tyrese is not supposed to know that Lily shot the governor. So what's the truth? Was it a post-production error, or did they choose to put the wound higher in post-production so the injury would be more survivable? I mean, it's really hard to tell. And I don't know. I think I want to be careful about how I say this. I don't want to say that you're being too attentive to detail, because that's kind of what we do in TD, is be attentive to detail. But I mean, I just think that there's a lot of possible explanations for it. I really don't think that it's an error, because I don't feel like they make that kind of error. They go out of their way not to. And anytime they do, like if it just can't be helped because of production schedules or some sort of limitation with the props or the makeup or something, they come out and tell us that. So I really don't think it's that, but I think it could more be that it is just Tyrese in his hallucination thinking about it. And, you know, as for the governor, even if he didn't know that Lily shot the governor, he may have found that out. I mean, I'm trying to remember who knew that. I mean, maybe just Tara, but I think she told Glenn. So, I mean, unless we are told otherwise or we have some reason to believe otherwise, I think we kind of have to assume that they tell each other their stories to some extent. So it could be that even though Tyrese didn't see it, he still knew about it. The other thing is that I don't think that her wound in Tyrese's hallucinations actually is lower on her forehead. I think that the way that they did the makeup and the blood makes it look like it is. And you know, we could argue back and forth and grab a ruler and measure, and it doesn't really matter. I just think that, you know, you shouldn't get too into the weeds of it specifically because it's a hallucination. And just as like we always talk about how, you know, what did Team Family know? They're assuming Beth is dead. This is what they think they know happened. It's kind of the same thing with the hallucination. Even if the placement of the bullet is incorrect in Tyrese's mind, that is Tyrese's perception of it. That is not necessarily the truth of it. And so I can see the powers that be coming back when people say that and being like, well, yeah, but he didn't really understand where the bullet was. He didn't see it directly. I mean, yeah, he was there in the hallway, but who's to say he actually looked down at her and figured out exactly where it was on her forehead? You know what I mean? Once she got shot and Daryl picked her up, maybe nobody really looked at her all that closely, except I would assume Daryl and Maggie. So anyway, we don't know. And I think this is the kind of thing that will be explained once we finally get the missing 17 days, but it's not something that I worry about too much. The point is that she was shot. I guess maybe a way to sum all of this up is to say I trust where we saw her get shot in CODA more than I trust what we see in later hallucinations. And that injury was survivable. So again, I think it will be explained eventually, and I don't worry about it too much beyond that. So that was a lot of rambling to answer your question. I hope I answered your question. Okay, what else? Hi, more and more people are saying that Beth's episode in Dead City is an alternate universe and not a dream or hallucination of Maggie's, as other sites initially reported and suggested. They're saying it's the only weird or experimental episode of the season. Did you see the picture, Bethel, that Denise Huth posted? Yes, I did. She posted it along with the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, which played in the last episode of TWD 1124. Cheers, yes. And let's see, there's a reply here. When I saw it, it was on Emily's story, yeah. So Denise Huth, man, I cannot speak today, posted it, and then Emily reposted it, and I did see that. And, you know, that's really interesting. People were talking about the song and how the lyrics definitely apply to them and all of that. Okay, so let me address this one at a time. Alternate universe versus a dream or hallucination. Honestly, you guys, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, I'll be interested to see which one it is. Of course, you know, we're probably going to read into which way they go with it, but to me, it all is going to amount to the same thing, because it's not going to be something literal, but it's going to be something that is telling us something about what the characters are going through and the story. And I don't see them putting Beth into it if it's just about Maggie and Negan. They could have done anything in the world, but they chose to put her into it. And then we're getting these interesting posts from Denise Huth and Emily, and you know what I mean? And so that's really encouraging. Why post this now? I mean, it's clearly because it would be really understandable for them to start, you know, posting things about Beth because she's going to be in Dead City. But why Beth and Daryl if it's not going to have anything to do with him? Why Bethel, right? So that's the biggest thing that I'm taking away. It's like, okay, if, theoretically, to be devil's advocate, Emily is just going to be in Dead City because it's about Maggie and it's about what she's going through and it's going to have nothing to do with Daryl and Beth is not coming back. People would not be posting Bethel. They would only be posting Beth or they would be posting Beth and Maggie. Okay. They're posting Beth and Daryl. And that's really important. I do think that this is funny that they're saying it's the only weird or experimental episode of the season. Okay, that is their way of explaining it and not understanding what's actually going on there. So they see something like this and they're going, okay, they're bringing back Beth, whatever, that's weird. And so that's the only thing that they can think of. Oh, it's a weird experimental episode. No. There's a much deeper reason for it, and they just don't understand what it is. So that kind of makes me smile. So yeah, I hope that helps. All right, next one. I remember another theorist. Oh, okay, we read that. Read the rest of those. Yes, please, on the Maggie deep dive after this season, assuming Daryl Dixon doesn't end up starting immediately after, of course. Yeah, I will do that eventually, I promise. I like doing the deep dives, they're fun. I remember another. Oh, no, there we go. We're doing these in reverse order, so I keep getting the same ones. I saw someone comment on Tumblr that she went back and looked at the and the Statue of Liberty didn't have that damage to her face the first two seasons of Dead City, which raises several possibilities. Did they just want her to look more visually like a corpse now? Something big happened between seasons there. Maybe it's part of a different AU than the apparent no zombie apocalypse AU that Emily Kinney is in. Will be interesting to find out. All of this, of course, isn't even addressing the direct historical link between France and Lady Liberty. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, I didn't know that. That's really interesting that the nose thing wasn't happening. So yeah, it could be part of the AU, or it could be, like you say, something that happened between seasons, or that we'll see it fall off. It would be kind of bizarre to see, wouldn't it? But the biggest thing I take away from that is that something is different this season, right? Whatever that represents, it's either something falling apart or maybe something falling away that will help Maggie see something, see some sort of truth or something. I don't know. It depends on what exactly they are trying to symbolize with that. But the fact that it wasn't there before and that it is there now is significant to me, especially because we know we're going to be seeing Beth this season. So I will definitely be paying attention to that once the season begins. So thank you for pointing that out. That's really interesting to me. Okay, apparently the Walking Dead rights are for sale. What are your thoughts on that? It's kind of scary because previous plans like bringing Beth back in a spinoff could be scrapped by the new owners. I don't know that I have anything to add about this. I honestly think it's just a behind the scenes thing because despite them being for sale, I mean, nobody seems to be going anywhere. Gimple just recently confirmed the reunion show, which I know I haven't asked about that, so I'll talk about that more when I get to that. But it doesn't seem to me like Gimple is worried that he's going to lose his job if the sale goes through. I think it's more like they're looking for some sort of backer that, I mean, it is the rights are for sale, but I mean, it's really more about instead of going with this studio, we'll go with this studio because they can give us more money or they can, help us with the production in a different way. But whoever ends up buying the rights, or if anybody does, I mean, this is still one of the most in-demand shows on TV, so I don't think it's going anywhere. The only thing I would say is that sales like that, unfortunately, could slow things down and push things back, which none of us want. It's been long enough, right? But I'm not worried that like someone's going to buy the rights and the show's going to be canceled. Like that's not even in the cards at all. So I don't worry about it too much, and I don't know the details of this, so I really hate to try to conjecture about it. I would have to research it more, and I'll tell you what, I will write myself a note to research it more. I don't know for sure that I'm going to be able to find anything that will really be very helpful, but I will look into it and see if I can suss out what it's all about in a way that would make sense to everybody, and I'll see what I find. So I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer for that right now. Okay, for me, the moment was the hug from the back that Beth gives him after the fight. There is a before and an after that where you see they have changed the way they treat each other. And this is is that supposed to be trope? Yeah, trope used in a romantic pair of other franchises as Naruto itself. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. This is not to be a sad moment or relief, but their first contact while they share an emotional moment. Yeah, I agree. I think that that was a huge turning point. And I talk about in the still video, which is coming up next, that there's a lot of healing going on in still. And part of the healing is just being seen and feeling safe sharing your emotions with someone. And I feel like that is very much what they did for each other. And they really did need to fight about it. They needed to shout and yell at each other and lash out because they needed to get that energy, those emotions out, and they needed to express them. But then after that, once that was gone and they both became still, which is part of the title, that's when they suddenly felt safe talking to each other. And so, yeah, I agree. That was a really pivotal moment. So thank you for sharing that. I agree with you about the hand-holding scene being the moment Daryl becomes consciously aware he feels something for her. I don't think a girl has ever held his hand before. I don't either. And this girl is someone he's already bonded with, trusts, and he is attracted to her. And he just falls further with every moment together in Alone. Yeah, and I mean, I agree, 100%. The other thing, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that he already kind of trusts her and is bonded with her. Not obviously to the extent that they do in Still, but I always notice, like back in season 3, that he kind of notices her. There's not a ton of interaction between the two of them. Like he asks her to watch out for Carl, right? After when he's going to go and find Judith some food. And there's a part too, where they realize that Maggie and Glenn have been kidnapped by the governor, and everyone's kind of dragging their feet about what to do. And Beth jumps in and says, I'll go get them. And that immediately makes everybody else go, no, 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 we'll go. And Daryl, he's the first, like, next one to respond. And then she doesn't end up going. But she's kind of spurring them into action. And I think Daryl notices that. And then, of course, there's all the times he looks at her when she's singing. So, I mean, I agree. This is already someone that he is at least familiar with. I think this would have been a lot harder to pull off him opening up to her if it was someone he just met at the beginning of the episode, right? But that's not the case. They've actually been in the same group, in the same community for a while. So he's at least moderately comfortable with her, even though it's not like a deep comfort. So yeah, I agree that, and that's I think that's a big part of things. So I'm generally of the opinion that he falls on the porch and still, probably when Beth is talking about the hopes she had for the family, but he doesn't realize it's happened until the beginning of Alone. Yeah, I love that. That's nice. Yeah. I think all of these moments definitely contribute in some way, and it's like little parts of him maybe are falling in different ways, and then it all kind of comes together. You know, like you said, beginning of Alone. So I really like that too. And we've only seen the face touching with Beth and Isabel. Yes, very much so. Do you have a link or know the title of the video where Melissa and Norman are talking about Beth? No. I might be able to tell you what it's called. I think it's on AMC Plus. So if you have the app, and I'm actually not currently paying for it, I only pay for it like during when The Walking Dead is on, or if there's another show on AMC I want to watch. But obviously, I'm going to get it before July, before Dead City comes on. But I'm pretty sure it's on there. It's one of the, it's like one of the specials that they did, and I can't think of what it was called, but I could figure it out. So give me a minute, and if anybody else knows what it's called, but it was like one of those things where they go over, like do an overview of the plot and what's happened in the show. And that's where they talk about it, assuming it's the one that you mean the one that I'm thinking of, where he, confirmed that Daryl had feelings for Beth here. I just can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but I can find it for you. If not now, then ask again when Dead City is on, and I can look through what's on the app then. Painting, I might have actually already answered these here. Oh, maybe I think I went through those because they are earlier comments. All right, so got the bullet wound. I had to sacrifice myself and watch the movie. Basically, it's a ship adrift, seemingly traveling in a different dimension. It has a strange cloud around it, and you can only see it if it wants you to. It usually reveals itself to its victims. Okay, I know this video came out 10 months ago, but I just watched it today. I also watched an interview Gimple did just yesterday where he talked about the meaning of Terminus. He said the plot originated from a video game where the tracks of Terminus, which exist in reality, all end in the same place. Then I thought about this video and the fact that there's a Rome in the USA, and I remembered there's a Spanish saying that means exactly the same thing: all roads lead to Rome. So I thought that Terminus equals Rome in the series, and the whole plot will end there just like it did in the past. I also thought that Beth would have reached Terminus if nothing had happened, so she's connected to it in a way, and therefore to Rome, which is synonymous with Terminus. I don't know how to explain myself. Sorry. English, I love your videos. Please keep keeping us updated. No, that's really interesting. And while I was doing the still and alone rewatches, I was actually thinking about that too, that I think that Terminus is a foreshadow of something where, I mean, even think about, because it's exactly like what you just said there, all of the paths, all of the train lines converge at Terminus. And so if you think about different paths and different train lines in terms of the spin-offs, right, and where the characters are, you have Rick and Michonne one place, you have Maggie and Negan one place, you have Daryl and Carol one place, and they're all going to converge at some point. And it's true that Beth wasn't there at Terminus, but she was around somewhere. And it's almost like, I mean, I still think that maybe she'll end up at Terminus at some point during the missing 17 days, even if it's just because she's searching for a team family or something. So I think she's going to get there by another route. So yeah, I totally think that that could be a foreshadow. So yeah, that's a great insight. Okay, I think that is all the new comments that I have. So I'm going to call it there, but I'm probably going to do the still video next, and then I'll do another video that has asks, and then after that will be the alone video. So just keep checking back every few days, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.